is Radio Woking.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that track. And as promised, we are now joined in the studio by a very special guest. Jimmy, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, mate. Cheers.
No problem. And, well, I guess the best place to start is just introducing yourself.
Yes.
For the people that don't know you.
Yes, yeah, I'm Jimmi Herbert. I'm from London. I'm like a mix of like a hip-hop / indie artist. I'm 19. So yeah.
Nice. And do you do this full time, or are you at college, uni?
I try my best to keep it up as much as possible.
Yeah.
So on the side, I have a couple of students because I'm a guitarist by trade, really. And every Friday night, I play like acoustic music in a restaurant. So that's kind of where my income is. And then throughout the rest of the week, I'm just making music, rehearsing with my band, gigging where I can, producing where I can.
Okay, nice. Have you ever had any part-time jobs in the past that you just have hated?
Yeah, of course. I should really get a part-time job now, to be honest, to kind of finance my week. But yeah, I've had some bad ones. I don't want to call anyone out specifically. It's nice.
Go on, what's the worst one? Go on.
Anyone who pays me is like lovely, I don't know. But, retail is pretty bad, isn't it? I don't like stocking shit, especially for creative people. The worst thing you can do really is stand on the shop floor for 8 hours. Numbs your brain, numbs your soul.
Yeah. So I'm guessing this is sort of like the dream then. So if you make it in this, that's the
yeah, of course.
idea.
I wouldn't mind being a pop star.
I was going to say, if you ask anyone and they say, "Nah, I don't want to really be a pop star," I think there's something wrong there. We've spun your track a couple of times on air before, so thank you for letting us do that. Obviously, out of the tracks that you've made so far, do you have a particular favourite?
Yeah, so I mean, the first record that I dropped was kind of just like testing the waters. I wanted to see if I could, because it's completely recorded, performed, mixed in my bedroom.
There you go.
So I kind of wanted to see if I could do that. So I put out the first record. It's been a nice reception. I've had some radio plays courtesy of you guys. Second record that I'm putting out this spring, I'm hoping. I haven't got the masters back, so I'm still waiting on the release date. But it's just full of tracks I love. Like that's really me. The tracks you'll hear on that record coming up, like that's more of a blend of hip hop, more of a blend of like the Pink Floydy side of me, and the India side of me. So yeah, from that record that's coming out, I really love a track that we've been doing called Purple Pills, and the video's coming for that soon, and that's gonna be on the records.
So are all your tracks done at home, or are any of them?
Yeah, I mean, I have the luxury, very luckily, of I'm regularly offered downtime at Metropolis Studios.
I love it.
Which is really cool. So it's a big disparity. Like I like some of the stuff, like Purple Pills, I recorded vocals and piano, and like Freddie Mercury's like piano in Metropolis Studios. Walked out, Laurel Carner was there, like split to Laurel Carner.
Wow.
Then do the rest of my record in my bedroom. So there's a big disparity there. But yeah, it tends to be my bedroom and Metropolis Studios.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like you say, it's a bit of a mix really there, isn't it? But I guess that's kind of, do you think people will hear that side of it in the actual thing? Not in the quality, but in the terms of like, it is coming from you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean that's the luxury of it. I mean, I got so fed up of trying to find a drummer to play my drum parts and then not play them exactly how I played them, and having to take that time. So when I started moving into hip-hop territory, it really lends itself to these kind of MIDI drums and the electronic side of things, which I can just do from home. Like I can handle the whole creative landscape, and so everything you're hearing is very much like my investment. The drums, the bass, the shakers, everything's me on the records, which is really cool.
So yeah, like you're saying, this new EP, I'm already looking forward to it. But it's basically an insight into your mind. Then.
Yeah,
essentially.
Say that.
Well, we look forward to that. But the track that we've spun once or twice on here before, would you like to introduce that for us now?
Yeah, that song's called Sepia City, featuring my good friend Chase Classic.
Okay, guys, you heard it from the man himself. Tweet us, let us know what you think at Radio Woking.
I close my eyes so I
Anyway, Jimmy, you were saying that most of the stuff you do yourself.
Yeah.
We know you play guitar. Mm-hmm. What other? Do you play any other instruments?
Yeah. So I was 6 when I started playing guitar, and the following year, so that was like quite classical. Like when you're 6, you're playing like nylon strings, and you're not branching out much. It's quite like reading music. So I was into that. Then I started doing piano the following year, which is, where the basis of the sound comes from. Because if you're looking at a Logic file and it's hip hop beats, and I'm playing those beats on a piano, so those keyboard skills translate really well. And then from being so good from playing guitar a lot, I can dabble in bass. So the bass the bass on the records is typically me, either on a bass guitar or on the keyboard again. So it's just drums. But see, I'd say that drums are like my best instrument, like creatively, from a creative perspective. I love writing grooves, but I have no technical skill as a drummer. So yeah, it's keys, guitar / bass, vocals really for me.
And you mentioned about the merge between sort of hip hop and sort of like that Pink Floyd 80s music, which you've said we're going to hear a lot more of on the new EP.
Yeah, the Violet Collection.
But what sort of made you? Because I personally think that that's a very unique thing to do. Like, you don't really see as many people doing that nowadays, especially in like general chart music. It's something that I think there's a definite gap for. So, what made you think though? We'll bring both together.
Well, so hip hop is. I love hip hop. That's what I listen to. If I get on the train, I'm going to listen to some Reggie Snow or some Kendrick Lamar. That's what I'm going to listen to. That's what my love is really for music. I love the grooves. I love the syncopate. I love the culture behind it. But I'm middle class, white, and from Surrey. So it's
you can't release the next NWA album.
Exactly. So I need to bring in some of my own culture and honesty and how I grew up. And before I was into hip hop, I was really into, like I said, Pink Floyd. So I was really into indie music. Now I love like George Michael and like 80s music, and there's nice like huge synthesizers. I love really like happy music, which has like a tone lyrically and harmonically, which kind of makes me think, is this happy? And like hip hop has a dark sensibility. These 80s songs have a big bombastic sensibility. So the conflation of them, I think, really works really well. I think they're both really commercial genres as well. So like you said, I think there's a gap in the market for it. I mean, you listen to some of the indie bands now, like Tame Impala, like 1975. There's such 80s music influence under there. It's the birthplace of like proper pop music, really, the 80s. So that's what I'm kind of at the moment. That's what the Violet Collection sounds like. It's just hip hop and 1980s pop music.
Nice. And I would say that, like you're saying with Tame Impala and stuff like that, I'd say it is sort of, and with indie bands, it is going back a little bit towards that sort of style.
It's weird. It's cool because I don't think it's necessarily regressive. No. I think it's kind of just like an ode to the influences, and like there's a big thing for like vintage and like retro. Headspaces like that, exactly, or art really. So that's where that's coming from, I think, and that's cool. Like I said, I don't think it's regressive. I don't think it's bad I don't think we're moving backwards necessarily. I think we're kind of just looking backwards and
well, they say it's like trends come round, repeat. There's a few theories on that, but would you say that any hip hop artists have inspired you? Did you listen to hip hop when you were younger?
Yeah,
because you say you listen now, but you've mentioned like Pink Floyd, bands like that from when you were younger. You said around 11, 12. What sort of hip hop artists were you listening to when you were around 11 or 12, sort of, or around that age? Were you listening to?
So typically the first person I probably heard was Eminem. Big influence for me, like really cool, but that kind of brought me into this 90s hip hop world where you have like Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls is out of all the. It's weird because he's so far from me, but like his flow is so apparent in my music. I think like I'm not necessarily rapping. I've kind of got like a. The Velvet Underground, like Lou Reed, like spoken approach to it. But it's over hip hop beats, so it's kind of like I'm rapping, and in the rhythms I'm rapping, it's really. I don't want to compare myself to the best rapper all the time, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of Biggie influence there. Like I like the 90s scene. I'm a 90s hip hop guy, really. So I was listening to Biggie a lot when I was younger. I fell in love with Kendrick Lamar probably a couple years ago, and I think the 90s scene was a lot of, like, they were talented rappers, and like Kendrick and like J. Cole and stuff were talented rappers, but nowadays there's such a big production element in the beat making and the like trippy ideas, because it's, I mean, you can be really creative with hip hop. You can be really creative with it, and it's still commercial, so you know it holds its own. Yeah, for sure. That's the best of both worlds.
So I was going to say, when you brought up Biggie Smalls, I was going to say about if you had to choose Tupac or Biggie. I'm guessing your answer.
You know, it's tough, man. Like I think Biggie's the better rapper. I think Tupac's the better artist. I think he had more important things to say. I think he was, I mean, Biggie's cool, he's a cool guy, but I think Tupac was like really cool as a big speaker for generation. He's got some amazing, I mean, that All Eyes on Me album, it's like a double album. I watched his movie. They wrote it so quickly, man. His work rate was phenomenal. He really lived the life he was talking about. But Biggie takes it like flow lyrically for me.
I'd have to probably agree. I'd say in terms of listening to each track, I'd say Biggie Smalls sort of pulls you in a bit more when you're listening to it. It's more sort of like, wow, this grabs your attention. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the EP then. I think is the main thing. I think if that's what you're aiming to do, you're merging the hip hop with the 80s sort of vibes. That's can't be bad. Obviously, another question for you though, and it's probably the most important one of the interview. Do you prefer ketchup or mayonnaise?
Oh, ketchup, man! I can't stand. I can't look at mayonnaise properly. I can have it in like a chicken salad, but I've got to be really discreet, and I can't like tell myself I'm doing it too much. But ketchup can go in like anything.
So you're not the type of person to mix them together, then?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
You say it as if it's a crime. Well, we've found out that Jimmy likes his ketchup, can't stand the mayo, and he's got by the sounds of it, a pretty exciting EP coming out very shortly. Lastly on that then, you said you couldn't give us an exact date, but what sort of time can you give us a month that you're hoping to get it released by?
I assume it will be out in April. This April.
Oh, nice.
I assume it will be out in April.
Not long to wait then. Well, keeping us on our edge of our seats, but not for too long. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Nice one. Thank you very much for having me.
Obviously, hopefully, have you in for a live session or something.
Yeah, I'd love that
in the future.
Cool. Okay. Nice one, boys. Cheers.
Okay, guys, we'll be back after a few ads.